So today's reading is really interesting because when I started pulling the cards, I expected to see more about a future partner or a connection coming into your life. But instead, the energy kept circling back to you. And it was really pointing to your mindset around love, the patterns you've been in, and the kinds of connections that you've entertained in the past. And honestly, these are the things that sometimes happen when doing a tarot reading. You can set an intention to read about something specific, and then the cards are like, no, this collective, they need to hear about something else. So that's what happened. I feel like the cards, they didn't jump straight to the future connection because they're trying to show you what's shifting internally first. And so, yes, for some of you, you could be single and coming to these realizations. And for others of you, could be in a relationship or getting to know someone where you're going to see these things coming to light within the relationship as well. Now, when I look at the spread here, one of the first things that stands out is a sense of emotional fatigue around past relationship patterns. Some of you may have experienced connections where you felt like you were constantly giving energy, constantly trying to make something work, or dealing with partners who were emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, or just never really meeting you where you were at emotionally. And some of you may have experienced some kind of dynamic that left you feeling super drained by the end of it all. You came to this realization of like, damn, I've really been carrying the weight of the majority of my connections for such a long time. And I think for others of you, this could also point to a realization that certain relationships in the past, they didn't actually bring the fulfillment that you thought they would. And honestly, that's just a human thing because sometimes we enter relationships thinking, oh, this is going to make me happy, or this is what love is supposed to look like. But eventually you start to realize that something about the connection just wasn't truly satisfying on a deeper level, and that's okay. And what's interesting as well is that the cards here also point to a collective, to people questioning old beliefs about relationships. Some of you may be reevaluating, what commitment truly means to you, what partnership actually looks like for you. Because another theme coming through here is this idea of entertaining energies, entertaining people that weren't really meant to build something lasting with you. This could look like situations where there was potential, but the effort wasn't mutual, or where the connection stayed in a kind of limbo for a long time without actually progressing. And for some of you, this reading, it feels like a moment of awareness where you're realizing that just because someone shows interest in you or enters your life doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve long-term access to your energy, which I feel leads to the most empowering part of this spread, because the energy here, it shows me that many of you are starting to break free from old mental patterns around love. I feel like the collective that I'm tapping into, even if for a moment in your life you didn't consider yourself to be very self-aware when it comes to love and relationship and attachments, now you are someone who is very self-aware. And I feel like you may be letting go of this belief that you have to struggle in relationships, or that you have to prove your worth in order for someone to choose you. Instead, the cards here are pointing to an energy of stepping into a much more grounded and secure version of yourself, someone who knows what they bring to the table and who is no longer willing to stay in connections that feel one-sided or emotionally limiting. That's just not going to cut it for you anymore. So I think, interestingly enough, the cards didn't want to tap into the energy of a future partner or growth in a connection just yet, because they're highlighting this period of clearing and of awareness and emotional growth. And this is very beautiful because this is basically the first level before developing a secure attachment style, and therefore being able to show up in your relationship in that way, or being able to attract a connection where the both of you are secure. And honestly, it makes sense because the right connection, it usually doesn't appear when we're still holding on to dynamics that were never meant to last, or when we're still holding on to dynamics where we were hurt or we were betrayed or we were disappointed because our expectations were not met. Sometimes the right person, the right relationship only can appear after we decide that we deserve something healthier, something more stable, and more aligned with who we are now or who we want to be. So that's basically the channeled part of this reading. I will begin pulling some more cards now, and we're going to look at the patterns that may be closing out in your love life, the mindset shifts happening around relationships, and how that might actually be preparing you for a completely different kind of connection moving forward. Okay. All right, so let's see what else is coming through here. I'm hearing that a lot of you are feeling emotionally exhausted, especially I'm just tired of committing to the wrong people, or putting my eggs in a basket where they're not also putting their eggs in the same basket. A lot of you are feeling very fatigued and tired of fighting for connections that don't move forward. And really, I feel that your subconscious mind is completely illuminated now with the emotional awareness that you're done with that cycle. You're done with this cycle of entertaining unavailable partners, and you're tired of repeating the same old relationship dynamics that just leave you burnt out, that just lead you to being more guarded. And your soul is ready for something completely new. Your soul is completely ready to move towards peace. And not only in love, but in all areas of your life. This craving of stability. No more hardship. But with justice reversed here, your guides are showing that you're not going to get there by blaming God, blaming the universe, blaming your past, blaming others for what has happened. Of course, people have done you wrong, right? And you've had to live through unfavorable circumstances and situations, and none of that is your fault. But this is an energy of recognizing, if you really want to move towards peace, there comes a time to leave those things behind. One of my favorite quotes, and I forgot who says it, but I think it goes something like, when you stop blaming others, I need to look it up. But basically, it says that when you stop blaming everyone else, including yourself, you have arrived. You are able to embrace peace then. You are able to embrace stability then. Yes, how you've been treated in the past has been unfair, but it was never the universe or God or even the other people punishing you. It was a lesson to not deal with that bullshit ever again. And sometimes we have to be shown exactly what we don't want so that we can avoid that experience entirely. And sometimes we don't know what we don't want until we're experiencing it. But I am getting that now you may be redefining what love actually means to you. I feel like a lot of you are stepping into this energy of confidence. Like, you know what? I've seen other people have healthy relationships. Why can't I? I've seen other people have a secure attachment style. Why can't I? Why can I not be confident about attracting new patterns into my love life, new positive patterns? And I think a lot of you are beginning to realize that if you can be persistent with that mindset, being confident about who you are and what you deserve, and that what you're asking for isn't out of reach, that what you're asking for is realistic, and you take whatever it is that you're asking for off of a pedestal and normalize it, you will see it manifest. This dream, this vision, this idea of love, of the perfect relationship for you, it exists. But can you be consistent, persistent enough with the belief that that's what you will get? And this is not the first time that I'm saying this, but you can only recognize when someone is truly treating you with love, kindness, respect, and acceptance, when you've arrived at a place where you've been showing up for yourself in that way. When that same love that you want to give to others, you've allowed it to be an overflow of love within yourself. That's how you're able to recognize if someone is treating you the way that you deserve. And I'm seeing that a lot of you have a completely new beginning in love. Whether that's feeling more free in your present relationship or experiencing what a healthy love is with someone new. I'm getting this energy of someone being very carefree, not having to be hyper vigilant, wondering if someone is going to hurt you, being able to trust more easily. Not only being able to see someone's potential, but seeing them live up to it. But it's because you decide to finally start living up to your own potential, including what you believe you can attract in love. And also there's this energy of just being a free spirit, going with the flow of your life and not being afraid of the unknown. Especially for those of you who are single, this means not sitting in that energy of doom and gloom that just because you're single right now means you will forever be single, or that you have to avoid love entirely because you're going to keep repeating the same cycles with people in different bodies. And that's just not true. Of course, if you focus all of your energy on that outcome, it's more likely to come to fruition. But if you can persist and change the outcome in your mind and in your heart first, that's when you see a change in your reality. The universe, God, doesn't respond to our hopes, to our wants. It responds to who we are and what we believe we are deserving of. And I do feel like a lot of you are going to start choosing relationships differently. Yeah, it's this energy of, I'm not going to entertain connections where there isn't equal give and take, where there isn't generosity, where I don't feel valued, where I don't feel like they are actually kind and not just pretending to be nice. This is an energy of only entertaining balanced connections where there's giving and receiving. And I do see that for those of you who choose to persist with this idea that you will attract a balanced connection, I'm seeing a victory here. I'm seeing you attracting exactly what it is that you want. Romantic success, okay? A connection where you feel confident. A connection where the other person is proud to be with you and you are proud to say that you are with them. This is someone not being afraid to show you off. This is someone not keeping you a secret. This is someone wanting the world to know that it's you and them. Congratulations. This is something that you receive after taking all of that instability that you have felt within yourself due to your past experiences and alchemizing that into fuel for who you are now and who you're becoming. You don't attract this kind of connection without working on yourself, which is exactly what you have done. I'm hearing mastery. You have learned the spiritual lesson here surrounding love and romance. By being committed to yourself, that is why you are attracting someone committed and devoted to you, if you haven't already. Very beautiful energy. Okay, so before I look at what kind of relationship energy is being prepared for you, I want to pull a message for the collective right now. Just really quick. And I want to get an affirmation for you. What does this collective need to know right now? The Mirror. This card speaks of self-reflection and seeing the bigger picture, which is exactly what you've been doing regarding your love life right now. The number 26 could be significant for some of you. Also, the number 8, 888. And your affirmation is, I honor the full book of my life, every chapter that I write. I honor the full book of my life, every chapter that I write. So you can go ahead and leave that affirmation in the comment section if you really want to lock that energy in. Okay, so let's see what kind of relationship energy is being prepared here. What type of love is this collective moving towards? Okay, codependency is reversed, meaning no more codependent habits, no more codependent relationships. We're talking interdependence here. Two people being whole and free in love and still deciding to choose each other every day. I'm getting this energy of your inner child being able to come out and play with this person's inner child. This is going to be a very playful connection at first, but it's going to develop into something very deep and profound once you get to know each other, okay? Because this card speaks of revealing your innermost selves to the other and understanding that that's the only way that the bond can deepen, okay? Let's see, what messages does your future partner or this connection have? What messages does the future partner or this connection have? Okay, so right away we are getting a message about needing to go slow, really taking the time to get to know the person in front of you, understanding that if it's something real, you can approach it in a grounded way and it's still going to grow. Sometimes we feel like we have to rush into something because if we don't rush into it, we're going to lose it. But I'm not getting that that's how this love is going to blossom. It's not going to blossom through desperation. It's not going to blossom through a lack of boundaries. It's not going to blossom by trying to rush the process. This is going to be a beautiful, slow burn. And here we have rejection in the reversed. This is showing that every rejection that you've had to face until this point, especially regarding love, you're going to see that it was so worth it so that you could be divinely redirected to this person and this relationship. All of those rejections in the past were divine protection. And for some of you, there's a need to possibly detach with love from a specific person or a specific situation from your past so you can clearly see the truth about that person or situation and allow yourself to move forward so that you can align with this love or deepen a connection that you are presently in. But the connection that I'm talking about today, this is true love. Not only is it emotional, not only is it physical, but it's spiritual. You will be able to make a clear decision about one another. Even if there's a little hesitation at first, because you've been hurt in the past, there will be this clear knowing within you that I need to give this a chance. It is safe to open my heart here. I want to see what shadow or subconscious pattern that you're transcending. Okay, so you're recognizing that yourself, your identity, it doesn't have to be tied to your past experiences or the BS that you've had to live through, the painful situations. This is about writing a new spiritual story for yourself, starting within, starting with your internal world. I'm getting that for a lot of you. The patterns, the days of people pleasing are over. The attraction to unavailable partners is over. The fear of vulnerability is soon to be over. And repeating karmic cycles is soon to be over. So that is what I have for you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. If you want to go to the extended reading, I have linked it below. There I will be talking about who this future partner is energetically, what this connection will feel like. We will get some messages from this person as well, and the spiritual purpose of this connection. And as always, I am open for personal bookings as well. If you want some personal insights, you can book using the link below. I will see you in the next video.